All right. Welcome back to Mint Collectibles. You know, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but somebody said we should call this show Spoiler Alert. I thought that was a pretty good idea.
That's not bad.
So spoiler alert, this is like the fourth episode that we've done of this, where we talk spoilers on this week's new comics. We have a panel of guests. I am GemMint. To my, what is that, my left or right? How does it? Anyway, that's Comics with Bueller. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on here. It's great to be back once again. I didn't read as many comics as you guys did, but I did read a bunch. Some I liked, some I didn't. We're going to talk about that. And I just want to take a minute real fast. Today we hit 8,000 subscribers. So thank you, everyone who followed me over from the GemMint channel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Geminites?
Yeah, the Geminites. They come on over, and that's awesome. But
got to pump those numbers up, baby.
That's right. 8,000. Appreciate it. And looking forward to 9,000.
Congratulations. And below him, we have Rockin' Robbie with Pop Culture Philosophers. What's going on?
What's up? Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Jim. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. And below me, we have our boy Chad, 90 motherfucking comics.
So what's going on, Jem? What's going on, Bueller and Robbie? What's going on, chat? And for all the 90 holics in the chat, YouTube is 90. Super excited to be joining you guys this week.
Yeah, man, glad to have you back. And we got a newcomer in the building. It looks like he's setting up. Should I pop him in yet? All right, we got our boy Dylan's comic book rants. Can you hear me? I'll pop him back in when he's ready. All right, cool, man. So
what an introduction.
Nice Saturday evening here. Oh, it looks like he's here. Yo, what up, Dylan? Can you hear us? Yo.
So close.
What's up? Can you hear us, Dylan?
Yo, can you hear me, Jim?
Yeah. So Dylan has been a longtime viewer of the channel. He reads weekly comics. He wanted to jump in and talk about the issues. You want to introduce yourself, brother? Nah, he's not ready.
I don't think he can hear you.
Not yet.
All right. Anyway, before we get started, I'm going to pay some bills here. You guys know I'm working with that Spider-Man booth. He does 2 mystery boxes per week. Right now, he's doing a mystery box that's going to run until Wednesday. So Saturday to Wednesday, he's got $30 mystery boxes, and you are guaranteed to get 5 comics, random comics of a $30 value. If you use the code GemMint, you will get $10 off. So you'll get a $30 box for $20. And the grand prize, one lucky winner, is going to get this amazing Spider-Man 301 CGC 9.8 with the new Spider-Man logo. This is about $1,000 book here, so definitely jump in for $20. It's a 1 code per customer thing, so use it wisely. But yeah, GemMint is the code. You'll get $10 off. You'll definitely get a $30 box and a chance to win this amazing Spider-Man book. Cool. I think that's everything.
Very cool.
All right, so with that being said, we'll start the show. Dylan, hey, can you hear us, bro?
Yeah, my bad. I had my headphones. I had to turn them on.
It's all good, man. Hey, real quick before we get started, you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, sure, man. My name's Dylan. I run Dylan's Comic Book Rants. Basically, just cover a lot of the new weekly books that come out every Wednesday, and usually I rant for like 20 minutes on every book or something, but. Just trying to get into doing some more videos, like the TV shows. I'll do like Mandalorian reviews, but
yeah,
I'm a new channel, so I'm still learning the curves.
All good, man. I told him that you've been a long time viewer of the channel and you wanted to jump on, so here you go. Bruce Johannes said, I remember when Jem was at 3,000. Yeah, man, we're probably gonna hit 41,000 subscribers during the show. Like we're like 3 away or something like that.
That's awesome, man. Let's make it happen.
Or depending how the show goes, we might lose and then we'll be like 10 away. N-Man 40 said, dude, give him a chance, Jem. Yo, I was just letting him get ready. Johnny Randall says GemMint or Clark Kent. Y'all know I got the blue blockers on, right? Yo, real quick, shout out to my man JW Statues, who's paying the bills up in GemMint Collectibles, man. $50 super chat.
My MCE brother, what's up, Jason?
Yeah, man. All right, cool. I figured what we would do today is start with the independent books, and we'll kind of build up towards Marvel because they had such a big week. I'm sure you guys are okay with that. I have Gideon Falls on the table here. Is anybody reading Gideon Falls?
Oh hell yeah!
So, how come everybody's not reading? This is an awesome book, man.
Nobody else is reading that here.
I guess by the time it was going, it was too late for me to hop on. But I guess I should hop on some trades. From
So that's what I did. I was way behind. I read
Right.
3 trades to get caught up.
I got the dollar book like first issue. I gotta catch up. I
Looks
want
like
to though.
I got to read some trades now.
Yeah, same.
Maybe we don't talk about spoilers since not everyone's reading it, but
Hey, no,
let-
do it, bro.
Go
That's
ahead.
that's
I'll
our
hold back
fault,
to the main.
not yours,
Right.
bro.
no, it's all good. I mean, I figure it'd be more fun if we're all into it because me and Robbie were just gonna talk. First of all, it's not gonna make sense to everyone on the panel, right?
Yeah, and it's a hard enough book to explain.
It's hard to explain. That's what I was hoping y'all had something to help me out with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to even explain anything that gets revealed because
Yeah.
this is a book is a super slow burn when you first start it. But it's from the moment you start reading this book, it's super creepy and it's atmospheric and the
Yes.
artwork is amazing, the writing is amazing, and it has become something so far beyond what I thought it was going to be, and I have no idea where this book is going, and that's rare and that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's one of your favorite books, isn't it?
Yes, it was my favorite book last year. It made my top 10, and I'm doing my top 10 comics of 2019 video next week. But spoilers, Gideon Falls is on it yet again. It's such an amazing book.
Gideon Falls is so interesting, and it just makes you think. And it is actually way better in trades, I would say. So I think if you want to jump on it, that's the way to go, man. Because these single issues, not a lot really happens. It's kind of like a slow burn, like Robbie says. So, Jeff Lemire is like one of my favorite writers right now. He's like doing so much, and he's killing it, man.
He's awesome. Everything he does is gold, man.
Yeah, he's killing. The one thing I was reading from him, Descender, I couldn't get into, man. I don't know if maybe because I only read 3 issues.
Did you make it? I watched your review. Did you make it beyond the 3 issues because it really starts picking up? Like that book that was one of my favorites. Like
I gotta get back into it.
Yeah, I think you'll really like it.
All right. So what about Oblivion Song? Is anyone else reading that?
No, I'm still behind on that one.
No one's reading it, guys. Oblivion Song is dope, man. This is Robert Kirkman. This is dealing with alternate dimensions and kind of bringing a section of Earth to another dimension and bringing that section of the dimension over here. And we're finally starting to meet advanced, like higher level thinking species from the other dimension. So that's a really dope read.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll keep it moving. What about Something That's Killing the Children?
Yup.
I think everyone's on, right?
Something Killing the that's James. It's Tinian, right?
Yeah, Tinian.
Tinian. I always say Tinian.
Tinian, yeah.
I said Tinian forever, but it's Tinian. I saw Scott Snyder, and that's how he referred to it. So I'm like, well, he must be right?
Right.
If anybody knows, it's old Scott. But it doesn't matter. We can just call him James.
What about JT? JT4.
Yeah, I love it. His name sounds like he's someone from Game of Thrones or something like that.
That's what I always think about. I always think about Tyrion.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Right. This book
Anyways,
is amazing, though, man.
Yeah. So I guess what's her name? Slaughter? Is it Elizabeth Slaughter?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Slaughter. So she's looking like the monster is maybe something that she hasn't encountered before, or something she has, but it's a bigger version of it, or something. And we had a revelation here, and I used to think about this too. Like when you're a kid, your brain is more susceptible to seeing things because it's not fully developed. So in this book, monsters are real. It's just that adults can't see it because we grew up or whatever. But children or people with undeveloped brains can see monsters, and the monsters they can hurt you.
Or maybe the brains are already developed as we're kids, and then as we get older, we kind of like have our own impression of what the world should be, so we ignore those things, right?
Like you filter it out, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It was because they believed in monsters as kids. That's why they could see the monsters. Kind of like the Santa Claus theory. The young kids believe in Santa Claus. They think there is a Santa Claus.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And then
as you get older,
when they stop believing, they don't see it.
Yeah,
like the premise of the Santa Claus with what's his face? Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Tim Allen? With Tim Allen?
Yeah, something is killing the truth. I like the dialogue. I like the way it's written. It's fast paced. I hate walls of text, man. I hate when books do that. And this one doesn't do that. This one, Gideon Falls, Oblivion Song, all those have a good pacing to it, man. So I'm really enjoying them.
I would credit that to the artwork, especially in Something Is Killing the Children, because James Tynion, sometimes you read some of his work and you do just see a wall of text.
Because the art doesn't match his writing. And to your point, I think it's a perfect blend.
Yeah,
You don't get
absolutely.
that with him too much.
Yeah, it really does pace it out so much better.
You said you're reading it too, Dylan?
Oh yeah. Love it, man.
Yeah, I think everyone's got good things to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He likes to reference like businesses. Like he references House Depot as in Home Depot. He did this thing with Applebee's in issue number 1, and he actually mentioned that to me when I talked to him. He's like, I like to just put stuff like that in there. But this is one of my favorite books. I mean, the slow burn you get from this book week after week. I mean, this is issue 4, and like I said, this is full spoilers. She is just now getting to where the monster is at. I mean, it's 4 issues in, and it doesn't even happen until the end of the book where she actually is confronted by the monster.
And that panel's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a great in the art.
What about how nasty it was with all the dead children? And the one kid just had the top of his head and he had no jaw. That shit was nasty.
Yeah, it's gross, man. Thank God that this series went ongoing, because if it was, like, this is such a slow burn. I want to see this book go for like 50 issues.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm loving it, man, because it has a lot of potential. They could do a lot with it, man.
Yeah, they really can. Because we know this has happened in other places.
Right.
So there's this whole world of it. It's kind of like this could be what the Phantasm wanted to be, the movie series, but they could do it right this time in a way.
Kind of reminds me of like Supernatural. If you ever seen that, where they could keep going on, because I'm sure if there's a monster in this town, there's got to be more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dylan. And they're not all spider monsters, right? There could be a wasp monster or something like that.
Yeah, certain kids are seeing a certain monster. No, for sure.
Yeah, and then I guess we get another character who's kind of, I don't know if he's in charge of Elizabeth or he's like, I don't know, the authority figure in this whole monster killing world.
Yeah.
And he's hitting up the cop. I like how that cop is kind of on her side and like letting her do her thing.
Yeah. I love it. This book is so great. It's one of the best books of the year, and it's amazing. I love it so much.
I find it interesting that the kid that she's with, for one, I think the kid is starting to annoy me a little bit. And like, where's this kid's parents? He's just been hanging out with this girl, Slaughter girl, for like 2 weeks, and there's all these kids that are being murdered and stuff.
Well, is this book set today? Is it? Because like I don't know what it's like today, but when I was a kid, my parents didn't know where the hell I was. You know
I feel like was it set in the 90s, or am I thinking about something else?
I think this is set today. I'm not sure.
I wasn't living in a town where a bunch of kids were getting murdered every day.
Let me tell you what.
You're right.
when I was a kid, we left in the morning and came back when it came dark every single day, like especially the summertime.
Yeah, like the street lights come on, you're like, I better get home.
Yeah, that was the rule. My mom was like, your ass better be inside when the street lights come on.
Yeah, that's how it was, man. I would never let my kids do it now. Isn't that crazy, though?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yo, so what about this Undiscovered Country? This is Scott Snyder, right? And I don't know how I feel about this. I enjoyed issue 2 more than the first issue. Is anyone else reading it?
Oh, yeah.
I picked up number 1, and man, it was confusing.
Yeah.
I kind of struggled with the book, and I wanted to enjoy it, and I passed on number 2 because I wanted to hear your guys' reviews on it and see what you said. And you guys kind of said the same thing I did.
Yeah, they're giving you a lot of information, especially the back. I didn't even read the back where it had all this like backstory stuff. Yeah, and I think, Robbie, you appreciated the world building that they were doing, right?
I appreciate the world building that they're doing, but it's very verbose and it's very exposition-y. And that's 2 issues. For the first issue, I'm cool with it because I was intrigued by the concept. In the second issue, I'm like, you really need to kick up the pace by the second issue to keep it going a little bit. But I'm still liking it. I like the concept. But, I mean, if they give us another issue of just explaining what's going on, I may have to drop out.
Yeah, I like what Undead commented. Like it's like an exploration aspect to it, right? And I kind of explained like 7 levels of hell. Like you have to get. It's like a board game almost on the country, and you have to get through these doors, and there's a destiny man, and all this. It's very confusing, man.
Yeah, I won't lie.
I agree.
Snyder came out of Batman New 52.
Yeah,
he started to lose me, and All-Star Batman I did not get on when he was on it. And then when he got into the whole metal thing, I felt like it was too late because that should have been done right after New 52 because it was so linked to that for me. And since then, I have just been off his train, so I have not read it at all. So
shout out to my man Gamma Comics in the chat. And man, Do you guys suggest getting the X trade separately or getting Dawn of X trade? So I think, was it you, Robbie? I wanted to let you know because, or somebody was saying it's going to be confusing when the trades come out because the books are meant to be read like each title number 1, then each title issue 2.
Yeah.
And they are releasing the trades in 2 different formats, like New Mutants 1 through 5, X-Force 1 through 5, and then they're doing Dawn of X Volume 1, which has all the number 1 issues. Then Dawn of X Volume 2 that has all the number 2 issues, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it would be better to read them individually because as we're reading it, they will obviously all connect at some point,
right?
But they're each telling their own story, and so I don't know how long they're going to keep doing those Dawn of X books,
right?
And they will continue to do their own books. You know what I'm saying? Like Fallen Angels Volume 1, New Mutants Volume 1, whatever. I think that each of them kind of need to stand on their own, but they're all building. I think the Dawn of X collection, I think that's a weird way to read it, to be honest with you, because if you want to read it that way, just follow it like we
singles,
yeah, week to week. But I think they're each telling their own story, and I don't know how much it's all going to tie together.
Well, like, look, the death of Professor X carries through multiple titles.
It does.
Even the Kitty Pryde stuff goes through Marauders and also what is it, X-Men maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, but they deal with that. But if you just read X-Force, it would still work as a story, you know? But I also understand because if you're reading Marauders Book 1, you're like, what do you mean Professor X died?
Right.
You know? So if you want to read it in the reading order, I guess do it that way. But I would just suggest if you want to do that, just follow along week to week.
I guess we'll get to that more when we get into Marvel. I have one more indie book. I know Robbie probably got a ton more, but is anybody else reading this Dying is Easy?
That book was awesome, man.
Yo, that shit was dope, man. It's like a dark comedy, stand-up comic. What else happens? It's like an ex-cop, and he kind of talks about homicides, and like
he's
in
an
a dark
homicide detective, right?
A dark humor type of way. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's good, man. Then you got like a comic that he's like the one that's making it, but he steals everyone's jokes, and they punch him in the face and all this shit. And
the one dude like kicks his ass, and that's because the one dude's like, "I'll buy your chicken wings if you kick this dude's ass," and he's like, "Hell yeah, I'll do."
It's
that.
like all the guys who just did stand up, they all sit in the back while the next guy's going up, and it's like, they're all sitting together, and
so it's like Carlos Mencia stealing everyone's jokes.
That's what I said in my video. That's what it reminded me of. It's like your boy, who does the podcast, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah, bro. Joe Rogan getting confronted.
Oh, but so what happens is, so I'm going to give spoilers, guys. You jumped on the spoiler show. So at the end, he punches the guy in the face, he knocks him out, and then later he gets a call like, "Yo, you're in big trouble." He's like, "What is he? He's suing me because I punched him?" And they're like, "No, he's fucking dead." And it's like, "Oh shit!" And then they show him like a pool of blood.
Yeah, such a great hook at the end there.
Yo, I loved it. I thought it was good. So the title "Dying is Easy," they reference it in the book, and it's like dying is easy, but what, humor is hard, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Because it's like it's a comedy kind of saying, right? Yeah.
But it's not really funny. It's like dark. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a funny book though. It's very crudely and it's fun in an irreverent manner. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with it. I think because this is written by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son.
It is. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. Who's doing this? Guy's got like 100 comics going on right now.
Well, yeah, right. He's doing some good stuff. And Martin Simmons is the artist, and that's the artist of Friendo, which is a fantastic book that came out from Vault this year. And the artwork I really, really liked. I thought it was super, super cool.
Yeah, is Justin Bear saying people didn't like it due to the art? I love the artwork. I thought it was great. And then he said, "LOL, he one punched him." Yeah,
he did.
He hit him with the one hitter quitter.
It's like Batman and Guy Gardner, man.
I think Undead saying, "What the hell does that mean?" But that whole dying is easy, laughing is hard. I don't know. It's like a comedian joke or something. I don't know. It's
like dying on stage.
Yeah, it's like it would be easier to just die right now than to make these people laugh or something like that.
Yeah, it's easier to totally tank and die on stage than it is to go up there and make everybody laugh for 20 minutes. Because these are like struggling comedians too.
Right.
And I really
they're trying to make it. Yeah, and the one guy that's getting any kind of recognition is like the guy that's stealing
all their shit,
stealing jokes and stuff. And then he says, and then he starts kind of like roasting him, and that's when he gets punched in the face. It's a dope issue, man. Y'all should pick that shit
really
up.
Good. Y'all need to read this. And they call him, because his name is something Holmes or whatever, but they call him the Shit Talk Holmes.
Shit Talk Holmes.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great.
All right, so I don't have any more indie books. You guys got anything else, independents?
Anybody read Red Mother?
Yes.
Yeah, Red Mother was my pick of the week. Another #1 issue from Boom Studios that just nailed it, killed it. I loved that book so much. Oh, I loved it. It's basically the idea of this book is that there's a woman and she's attacked, right? She's attacked. Her boyfriend's gone and missing, but she loses an eye and she gets a replacement eye, and it's apparently haunted by something crazy. We don't know anything yet, but the first issue did a great job of building up the character. The tragedy and what like the after effect of having an attack like that happen. You know, she loses her eye, her boyfriend's gone, and now all of a sudden she's seeing like red everywhere and all kinds of crazy shit. So like this book was awesome. I loved it so much. What do you think, Bueller? You read it, right?
I did. I read it, and for one, the book looks amazing. The artwork in it is really good.
Yeah,
I thought like when they're attacked, because they're like out on a date, her and her boyfriend, they don't show any of the attack. I mean, literally, it's like all of a sudden, like you see her get like swiped on the face. You don't see any punches or any other attackers or whatnot, so you don't know what's happening. And then you just see the boyfriend getting dragged off into the dark, and there's no characters or nothing, so you don't know what it is. I originally thought he had died, but they don't clarify that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she wakes up, you know, in the hospital out from a coma, and her eyeball is missing. And the funny thing is, you know, when I read the synopsis to this issue, I'm like, oh, somehow she gets like a haunted eyeball. It didn't seem like it was haunted. It seemed like just a regular guy came in there who does that stuff. You know, he's a doctor, and he fits her with a prosthetic eyeball.
Yeah, until the end of the issue, right?
Yeah,
where she starts seeing weird shit.
Yeah. So
plus her boyfriend, right before he dies or gets whisked away, says something about the mother. You know? And so like this is going to be like something is killing the children. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
But man, I thought that they handled this so well. And like you said, the artwork is so great. And oh man, I loved it. I thought it was super engaging.
That creature at the end, I don't know if you can see it that well, is such.
Hold on. Let me get you on the screen. All right, there you go.
That's
creepy.
It's very creepy, and I like it. So I mean, I was hooked right away. Beautiful looking book. You know, it's I automatically enjoyed the character. The main character in the book connected with her right away. So awesome book. Pick it up. Red Mother, Boom Studios.
To comment on Undead, I did read TMNT 100. I'm a huge TMNT fan, and it was incredible. Everything that they have been leading up to this 100th issue has been phenomenal. I don't want to spoil too much on it because I was kind of spoiling a little bit for Robbie, and I know he's getting ready to read it, and I think it's that good of a read. But pretty much in this issue, we have had a buildup with a side story as well with Shredder in Hell, with Shredder coming back to life, and everything is cultivating in this with his granddaughter and everything like that. Long story short, you get the death of Splinter in this issue. Spoiler alert for everyone. They had teased it in issue 57 earlier in the run, and that was a big thing when everyone thought it happened, but it didn't really happen. But it actually had to happen, but it was more of a sacrifice, and this was the way that Splinter could save the city, his children, and what was awesome is that he got reunited with his love, and she pretty much tells him, you did what you said you were going to do, which was protect our children. And it's an incredible read. IDW has killed this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run. I highly recommend it to anyone that's a Turtles fan. And hell yeah.
My thing is that I'm reading them in the deluxe edition, so I'm behind, right? Now, Splinter currently in the deluxe editions, he's the head of the Foot Clan. So is he still that when he gets killed or whatever?
Well, yeah, and you have Karai still trying to take it back, but yeah, he's still the head, and it's when you get to what I want to say it's issue 93 is when City at War starts. It just becomes like what it says, war. Like the whole city's at war. You get to see all your favorite characters from the TV shows. Like they incorporate everybody and all the new characters that they brought into the story as well. And then of course, I'm cool with, Jenny, the girl turtle. And I think it's cool how they've implemented her and all that.
Isn't City of War also a story arc from the original Eastman and Laird run?
Yeah. So it's kind of like this version of that.
Gotcha.
Sense,
Yeah, man. So no worries. I mean, I'm still just gonna wait on the deluxe editions. I don't know. I think they're kind of too far behind from issue 100. I think they might be into 60 something. Or
Yeah,
No, I love that Turtles book. That one and Power Rangers.
yeah,
Can't get enough of
Smart
that.
ass.
you're missing out, man. You're missing out.
Chad, were you super excited about the Laird Eastman announcement for Last Ronin?
bro. Yes,
I was just gonna ask you that.
to see those, and I was gonna mention it, and to see those guys like team up again. Hell yeah, man! Of course,
Yeah.
like
Hell
I'm
yeah.
all about it.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the group, and I was saying like in that the toys that made us Turtles edition, at the end they were drawing together and shit. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard they were coming out with this. That's probably what they were working on or something, right?
Yeah, it was such a great episode. It's probably the best episode of that show because it was more than just about the toys. It was about that friendship, right?
Yeah.
And then to see this as a result of that, it's heartwarming. Damn it.
There's a documentary that's like that called like TMNT Forever, and it's just like that, but it's like a whole hour, and it starts from the comics to the toys to the shows to the movies. It touches everything. All right, cool. What else? Is there any other indie books?
Cowabunga dudes.
That's all I got this week for indies.
Let's move to DC then. Y'all, what about Batman Curse of the White Knight issue 5?
That is the only thing that I'm reading on DC. Let me just say that.
So this was a good issue, right? So this issue they're dealing with
money.
the death of Commissioner Gordon, right?
I love that opening, funeral scene.
Batman doesn't show up. They're kind of pissed.
Right?
But then he's like, it didn't feel right. I really like how they did Harley Quinn and visiting like Joker in jail, like baby mama visiting in jail type of shit. That was kind of crazy.
With the babies, I thought. Yeah,
with the babies, like straight Goodfellas style. And then she gets Napier out of Joker, and that was a kind of like a powerful scene, I thought.
For sure, big build up to that too.
Right.
So.
It was because he was like egging her on. Oh, you're stupid. You're this and that. He's kind of demeaning her and downplaying her. And then what does she finally say that gets him to come out? I can't even remember. I don't remember, but she says something. She gets to him. She gets him out finally. So it's kind of like
I know she tells him Batman isn't coming, and I thought that was funny. She's like,
yeah, because Joker only gets off on Batman. That's why he didn't go with her to the jail.
Yeah.
So man, you guys, no one else is reading this?
I'm reading it. This is my favorite Harley Quinn. Period.
That's what I said in my review, and also, but she's the most normal one, right?
Yeah, pretty much
that way, right?
She was the savior of the original White Knight storyline. She's like the one that saved everybody, and then she ends up being knocked up by Joker, right, or Jack Napier.
Yep.
So I mean, it's like an Elseworlds tale, though. This is kind of like just a whole different universe.
And it's the artwork is amazing. I love it so much, and
it's a little blocky for me. I don't know.
I'm with you there, Jem. I do not. There's this one panel that he has Batman, and he's not like cut or ripped at all. He's got like this like block arm. I'm like, oh, what is that, bro?
It's like animated series style, but not smooth and like blocky. I don't know.
Oh man, but like if you go back and if you look at the cityscapes on the background, if you look at the way he's drawing the architecture and the movement of the page, especially like he draws Batmobiles like nobody else. And I love Sean Murphy's work, especially with Hollingsworth on the colors. And he's already started writing book 3. So we're getting a book 3. It was called Fall of the White Knight or something like that.
Okay.
I think. But I love this book so much. I think it's cool. It's an Elseworlds. It's the best Harley Quinn I've ever seen. I've never been a Harley Quinn fan. And I think she makes the Joker less interesting to me. But in this book, it makes the Joker more interesting to me.
So I'm with you. I really do like this Harley, but I really like the Harleen Harley Quinn as well, man. I don't know if you guys are reading that.
I haven't read that.
I think the last issue comes out next week.
It does. And that huge ass week next week, man.
Yeah, this week was big too, but next week is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
All right. What about? I know, Robbie. I know you're reading Batman's Grave.
Oh yeah.
I was saying, you forget what Ra's cuts off Bane's head, bro. That scene was.
Oh,
Bane goes out so quick, doesn't he?
Azrael, right?
Oh yeah. Azrael. Sorry, yeah.
Azrael decapitates Bane, and Bane's like, "Oh, you're gonna go for the Venom? I'll steal it." And he's like, "Nope." Boom. He goes for the Venom cord and his whole head. I forgot about that, yo.
Yeah, Bane went out pretty quickly. But it's a nice way to like go against what happened in Nightfall, because Azrael came back and kicked Bane's ass at the end of that. So.
Right, he did. He whooped him twice, and this time he killed him. See, they can do that type of shit when it's Elseworlds. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll just straight up kill Bane, kill Commissioner Gordon, no worries.
Yep.
Batman's Grave. I like this one too, man. He's definitely Warren Ellis definitely has a trend, like a style that he's doing with each of these issues, where he does like these action sequences. It's almost like a movie, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. He's been writing that way for a good long while now. Authority was like that. His Wildstorm book is like that a little bit. When I love the way he does action scenes. This is some of the best Brian Hitch artwork I've seen in years. This stuff is really amazing. I love the relationship between Alfred and Batman.
Yo, Alfred's like telling Bruce about his day, and he's like, well, how do you sleep? And he's like, I'm just on like cocaine all day or whatever.
Right.
But Bruce got mad. Yo, Bruce gave him a look like, yo, stop playing. But he was like, no.
Cocaine.
Yeah, he was like, nah, I've been good on 4 hours of sleep ever since you were a kid or some shit like that.
Yeah, I love the issue. And this isn't tied into continuity. It's doing whatever it does. Like, if you notice, it doesn't have the DC Universe logo on it or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So they're able to do this thing. Obviously, Alfred's dead, but it's really cool to like notice the relationship that Alfred and Bruce have. Yeah. As told through through Warren Ellis's eyes, because it's really, really cool and endearing. It's
like a father-son thing. It's a partnership thing. It's a best friend kind of thing. It's like, yeah, it's a really good relationship. And then, so what happens? He goes into the mansion to investigate the murder, and you're giving us super chats, Bueller?
I'm dying over here. I didn't read that one.
But I looked at it like it's a 12-issue series. You might as well just pick it up and see what it's about. I think it's good. It's worth it. The second issue I didn't love though.
Like a third of this is just this like action scene right here. You know,
let me pull it up. Hold up.
I'm not a fan of Brian Hitch's art, but it is a lot of action in this book.
Oh man, Brian Hitch though, I get what people are saying, but like there's a panel of Alfred. I'm going to try to. Oh my God, look at that, y'all! Look at that. That's powerful, man.
Yeah,
That's
that
Batman. Like a third of the issue is silent, but it works so well. But
I think I appreciated it more after we talked about issue 2 last week. So going into this one, I was like, all right, let me look at it with like new eyes.
Yeah, I love it. I adore this shit. But I think Warren Ellis is an amazing writer, and so
he's one of the greats for sure, man.
A third of that issue is silent. Really?
It's just an action scene, but like,
that's my type of book right there. Shit, I'll get that.
It's easy to read, you know.
Those type of issues help you when you're knocking out 30 books trying to get them all done so you can do a review on them.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, even though a third of it is silent, the way that Warren Ellis paces it with his heavy dialogue at certain points, it keeps the pace of the book kind of average. So
but the dialogue in this book is not boring at all. Anytime there was dialogue-heavy pages, it wasn't a boring read. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So hold on. You guys aren't reading this Dark Knight Returns Golden Child?
I read it.
No one else? So I looked at it like this.
Y'all read nothing.
I didn't even know.
Bueller, what are you doing, man?
It's the follow-up to the Master Race, right?
Hold on, Robbie.
I was not a fan.
Hold on, Robbie. Robbie, who works at a comic shop.
Yeah, man.
This is true.
But Jim doesn't work at a comic shop, and he's reading all these books.
Hundreds and hundreds of comics every day. Brand new ones. That's why he's reading them. Jim's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, bro, he's getting like
all sorts of great
big channel sponsorship
and everything. So I'm doing my best.
Listen, this is a big book, man. This is Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. It's really Dark Knight Returns 4, I guess, if you look at it. But I don't know, this is a one-shot or what, Robbie?
Yeah, it's a one-shot.
But this is like Frank Miller's take on Darkseid. Like, it's a crazy book, man.
I really like the artwork. That's the most positive thing I can say about it. Otherwise, I thought this book was kind of
Yeah, remember you didn't like it. So I mean, for me, it's a one shot. So I remember from the Master Race that Superman had a daughter with Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah, that was from DK2, Dark Knight Strikes Again or whatever.
But who's the other little kid? Is it a boy or a girl?
That's Jonathan Kent. That's Superboy. From like the current New 50. This is their version. This is the Frank Miller version of Jonathan Kent.
So hold on. So is Jonathan Kent Lois Lane's son?
Probably not, because I don't know, because they don't explain that, do they? Nor do they explain how the Joker's back, do they?
Right, and the Joker looking like straight up the original Dark Knight Returns Joker with the all white suit.
What's up with that? Why not explain that? Like did I forget something that happened at the end of Master Race? Because I don't think I did. But where did the Joker come from? Who is Kent's mother? Like Jonathan's mother?
Right, we don't know.
But I love the artwork and Darkseid.
We only know who he was when they call him Jonathan, and we know Jonathan Kent from other stories.
Yeah, and when they first announced it, like Frank Miller was like, "This is my take on Jonathan Kent," and so I was like, "Well, that's really cool, and the art's going to be really neat." But like, and I like the idea that Carrie is now Batwoman. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
But the book to me was just kind of like, why is Joker back? Why there's
no Batman, right?
No, she's talking to him. You can tell that she's talking to him, but there's no appearance by him in it. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it was worth checking out. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I've read worse.
The artwork is seriously amazing.
Well, the artwork, it looks like they're trying to just recreate Frank Miller's original artwork. That's what the vibe I got from it.
Well, that's Raphael Grandpa's style, what he's doing. It's very much like kind of like a Miller meets Frank Quitely meets Ian Bertram. It's a really cool style that I really like, and it fits the book. But there was a lot of just questions. You know, like, where the hell did Joker come from?
Why did they do this book? What was the point?
I think Frank Miller just wants to. I don't know.
I took offense to this book because
you didn't read it.
It's called The Golden Child. Okay, the only good Golden Child is the Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah, right.
That's the only golden.
Can't argue with you on that, brother. All right, let's move over to. Is anyone reading Joe Hill's Dollhouse issue 2? Yes, no.
Oh yeah.
Yo, this is a creepy issue, man. Right?
Oh yeah.
What happens? So you have the dollhouse. So we get the vibe, right? So what happens in the beginning? So the little girl is, I guess, influenced by the dollhouse to kill her dad, right? The mother is taking pity on her. Well, not taking pity, but the mother tells the cops it was her so that they don't do anything to the daughter, and the daughter goes to a foster home. And the foster home, she gets bullied. She becomes a mute. I forget the term they use, where it's like when you have a traumatic experience that makes you a mute. Comic Time was supposed to join. What happened, brother? I said Dollhouse is so good. Yeah, it is good, right? And then what was dope about the Dollhouse, like she could say like a little spell and go inside of it, right? And then the bully overhears her do that and tries to do it later, and you get like an evil Dollhouse is like, nah, you ain't allowed here, but since you came knocking on the door, we got something for you, and they do something with her. I mean, we don't see it, but it
doesn't work out, does it?
Doesn't work out too well. You just see her shoe kind of on the floor. They sucked her in, probably forever.
Yeah, I love this book so much. I think it's my favorite Hill House book so far. It's not written by Joe Hill, but it's written by Mike Carey. Yeah, but it's like edited by Joe Hill or whatever. But like Basketful of Heads and this one have been super, super fun. I'm really excited to read the next ones. I read the first issue of Daphne Byrne or whatever, and that one was okay. The Dollhouse Family is super creepy. It's super cool. Yeah. And in the second issue, it really gets to the point pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. I love it. I think it's super creepy. And if you like horror in comics, you definitely need to be reading this one.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I was on my own on this one for a second. Yeah, man, I thought it was definitely a good one. Best Joe Hill? Yeah, I can see that. I'm trying to think of the other ones I'm reading right now. And he's got some other new ones coming out. I think a new #1 next week on some other book.
I think Lolo Woods comes out
next week. That sounds interesting too.
Now Joe Hill is only writing Basketful of Heads. These ones are different writers, but he is the curator of this line. And but really cool.
You could tell it's all quality stuff coming out of the imprint though.
Absolutely. You mean it's his decision, right? What stories come and how they're molded.
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What happened, Bueller?
That like bonus story in the back, the Sea Dogs. He writes that too.
Oh, but you know what? I'm not reading that shit. I read a couple of them and I was like, I was not feeling that Sea Dog stuff.
I got lost in it. Yeah. I couldn't keep up with it. But he's also writing The Plunge, which comes out in January, February, or something like that. So I wonder if this whole line is going to be interesting, but Dollhouse Family to me is standing out. It's so good. I love
the thing about Sea Dogs. It reminds me of the pirate story, backup story from Watchmen, and I didn't like that either. I was like, this is so boring, man.
I heard werewolves in it, so I was pumped for it, but it's been pretty slow.
I gave up, man. That's all my DC books. I'm super light on DC, and you know what? Looking at the solicitations for like the next year, I don't know that this 5G thing is really going to be a reboot unless they're going to keep the numbering.
The 5G stuff hasn't been announced yet. So if that happens, the rumors right now are that that's going to be happening in the fall or in 2021.
Okay.
Or not at all.
That Doomsday Clock issue 12 comes out next week. I'm stoked for that, man.
I'm so pumped for that, man. That book's been amazing.
Anybody read The Flash?
Yeah.
84?
Talk to him.
Besides Robbie?
No, I'm not.
I'm not a Flash fan, so no.
Oh, Flash has been really good. Tell him, Bueller.
It's probably the most consistent book they've had from issue 1 all the way up to issue 84. It's the same writer, Joshua Williamson.
From the beginning.
They're right in the middle of the, what's it called? The Rogue. This is part 3 of, what's it called? The Rogue?
Rogue something.
I can't remember. They don't have it on the cover, but it's the Rogue storyline, and basically the Flash, they can't control their powers anymore. They have these power constraints on their necks. They still have their powers, but they can't control them, so they have to relearn how to use the Speed Force type thing. And so they're actually going up against Captain Cold, and they're partnering up with like a bunch of the villains to go up against Captain Cold, who's taking over the city and everything. It's a great book. It's nice, colorful, good action. The pacing is very well done, and Williamson is doing a great job. Like I said, he's been on this book from issue number 1. They're on issue 84. You know, it's been a really great, solid read from the very beginning.
So that's the only reason why I'm not reading a lot of these DC titles. I started picking up single issues again in like July or August, and Batman City of Bane had just started, so that was a good jumping on point. But for the other titles like Justice League Dark and all these other books that I'm not reading, I just didn't really know where to jump in. So I figured I'll just wait till I find a good jumping on point. You know what I mean?
A good jumping on point for this one is the Flash Year 1. I can't remember what issue number that's. I think it was issue 70 or something like that. Robbie, do you remember?
No, but it was somewhere around there, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, it's a Year 1 storyline. It was like a 6-issue arc type thing, and pretty much if you start from there and move on, then you're just fine.
Yeah, everyone's saying that Flash is a good title. It's better than the Batman title. I'm seeing good things. Yes to Flash. Cool, man. What else you guys got for DC?
All I had was Curse of the White Knight.
Yeah.
I've hopped off DC, man. They haven't been really.
Well, look, when y'all ready for Marvel, look, man, I got a ton of Marvel books. This week was.
I'm not reading that much Marvel, but Marvel is heavier on my pull.
All right, check this out. Let's jump over to this Annihilation Scourge Silver Surfer. Yo, this was my pick of the week. When I read it, I was like, this is going to be the pick of the week. Like, yo, the artwork was crazy. Followed up directly from Silver Surfer Black. I'm trying to remember now what even happened. Is anyone else reading this?
No, I'm not reading it.
Yes, I read it.
I'm still not on board on this. I can't do it. I'll wait. You know what? I've never bought the hardcover before. If this comes out in a hardcover, I'll buy it. How about that?
So check this out. So we get
is incredible in this.
The artwork in this is amazing. It's like Silver Surfer Black level artwork. A lot of double page spreads, a lot of full page, panels or whatever. But we get to know why the Sentry is leading the Cancerverse attack on the Negative Zone and on the regular universe. And basically it has to do with him exercising the void out of him. But then it's like you have the Sentry, the person, and then you have the void. And the regular person now merges with Silver Surfer at the end of this. They become a whole new character, like a Silver Surfer Sentry, that are going to try to stop Sentry and the Revengers and the Cancerverse wave, or whatever you want to call it. Yo, this was a dope book. I was really digging this one a lot, man.
And I also dug the Beta Ray Bill storyline too.
So I was just going to pull that one up, right? So Beta Ray Bill, it was on a similar vibe. I don't think it was as strong with the artwork, but it was interesting to see Beta Ray Bill without the hammer. He turns into like not a horse face guy, right? That was kind of funny.
He uses the hammer to pretty much like, I guess, get him out of the situation that he's in. That's like the only way he can, I guess, send this Cancerverse Sentry. That's like,
he basically throws it there, and it sends Sentry back, who's ripping through reality to get into the Negative Zone. So he loses all his power, but he pushes Sentry back. And
then because he doesn't have Stormbreaker anymore, he doesn't have the helmet, and he's literally falling, and he needs like Lockjaw to like kind of like, help him to get back to, I guess, to the Negative Zone, because that's why he's like, we got to go back.
And I love the relationship between him and Lockjaw. That shit was dope.
Yeah, and then it shows like all the like the feats they had together back in like Asgard and stuff like that.
Lockjaw's a good boy.
Yeah, for sure. I dug that read as well.
Robbie, we were talking about the Silver Surfer and the Beta Ray Bill stuff.
I loved both of those. I think the Annihilation stuff has gotten so much better from that first issue. Yeah,
it picked up for sure. Yo, I was digging both of these, but Silver Surfer, I think. What do you think about that whole Silver Sentry at the end? Yo?
Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah,
I like that. I guess that's the first appearance. Everybody should pick up that issue, right?
That's how it goes these days.
Right.
I really like the Beta Ray Bill one too. That was written by Michael Morisi, who writes Wasted Space, which had a new issue this week from Vault. That's another one of my favorites. He's a great writer. And the Beta Ray Bill one, like you said, the Lockjaw relationship was so much fun.
And I dug the art in that one as well. Like I
Yeah, that was really good.
personally thought the art was awesome in that one too.
Yeah,
Did anybody pick up the Symbiotes Spider-Man Alien Reality?
Yeah.
No, I picked it up.
Peter David, right?
Yep.
So Peter. Oh, we just lost Bueller. Oh, there he goes.
I wrote it.
Yeah, so basically, I didn't read Symbiote Spider-Man. I guess this follows up that little like kind of mini series they had or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a sequel to it, but it's not. I don't think it's really super tied in thematically by story or nothing. But it's just untold tales of Black Costume Spider-Man in a way.
Yeah, so basically, he's fighting. Was he fighting Hobgoblin, and then he gets knocked into like another
fighting
dimension?
Craven at first, right?
Yeah.
Craven, right? And then he wakes up, and Craven is like his boy, and he's like, "Yo, what are you
like
doing?"
His partner, his sidekick, his
sidekick,
Watson.
and then when he goes up on the rooftops, he sees Black Cat. She turns around, it's a redhead. I thought it was Mary Jane at first.
I did too.
It was Natasha. It was Black Widow. And then who's the Sorcerer Supreme? Hobgoblin is the Sorcerer Supreme, not Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So then I guess Stephen Strange shows up at the end, like, "Yo, we got to fix this shit" or something like that.
And he's like an old homeless guy or something like that, right?
It's a cool little, if you're able to read 100 titles a week, it's one that you might as well pick up. But it's not like a must read. It was just all right. It was cool.
I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. It had the spider buggy in there. I'm a big fan of the
I hate that, man. The spider, that's so whack. But that's kind of what they kind of make fun of it a little bit, right?
Yeah, I love this cover. This is the homage to Amazing Spider-Man 100. This is the variant I got for it. It's the Young Guns cover.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, see, that's like a homage to 100, right?
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a little sort. I thought it was a one shot at first, but obviously it's going to be it's got a few issues tied to it. I don't know how many, but just the different characters that they involved. In the very beginning, you have Doctor Strange and Black Widow hunting for a box, and he's like, "This is the word of God." Type
oh
thing.
yeah, I forgot about that. That was right. Yeah, I do remember that now.
So that's a whole another thing. That's like the first 3 pages, and that's when Doctor Strange is actually Doctor Strange. He's got his cowl and all that stuff. So I'm curious to see where that goes and what that box has to do with what's going on, because it's almost like Spider-Man is in a different reality. And it reminds me, I watched this movie recently I think it was called Yesterday. And it was about the Beatles, and it's about this guy who he gets hit, by a van. He wakes up in like an alternate world where the Beatles didn't exist, and like Coca-Cola doesn't exist, and Harry Potter doesn't exist. And he's like the only person who knows this stuff, so he becomes some kind of musician, and he uses the Beatles songs. So it kind of reminds me of that kind of scenario. Well, I liked it. I thought it was a good read. It was fun, and it was an easy read, and it looks good. The artwork is really nice.
So, are you a Spider-Man guy, Bueller?
Yeah, I'd say I'm a Spider-Man guy. That's one of my favorites. I mean, I put Spider-Man and Wolverine, Punisher as my top 3 characters by far. I kind of go back and forth between those 3 as far as who my favorite is.
So, speaking of Spider-Man 2099 issue 1 sucked.
Yeah, it did.
That's why I remember you said that.
This was like the trash of the week pick, yo.
Yeah, worst of the week, right there.
Worst of the week. No Spider-Man activity was happening in here. I usually like Miguel O'Hara, but I didn't really like him in this book, and it was whack. And this event or story or arc, like, what the hell even is it, right?
Man, it sucks, is what it is, man. It's just it's. I mean, if people like it, that's cool, but like this sucks. I said in my video, this must be what Bueller felt like in the '90s, because he hates the '90s stuff. So I'm hating it.
It's a shame because the cover is dope.
The cover of that one and the Doom one were so amazing.
So I didn't hate Doom. I thought Doom was at least an enjoyable one-shot Elseworlds type of book.
Are you confused as to where this other Victor came from?
I assumed it was the same guy.
Man, I have no fucking idea.
I thought it was old Doom met new Doom, and new Doom's like, yo, I remember when I was like that. I'm gonna murk you right now.
Like, is it our modern day Doom that's in like 6 books that came out last week? Is it 2099 Doom originally? Is it this new version of 2099? I'm so confused by this event. I don't like it. It's wasting my time, and I feel shitty that there's only one more one shot left. So now I have to read it.
What's the one that's coming out? The last one?
It's the Omega or whatever.
Oh, that's the Omega's coming out. Then we're done.
And it's
right?
next week when we have all this other stuff to read. And I'm like, I got like over 50 books I plan on reading next week. How am I going to do that fuck 2099. I'm sorry.
I think we should not talk about 2099 anymore. That series or this arc or whatever it is, it's a hard pass, man. It has not been good from the beginning, and it's still not good today.
Well, those of us that have made it through can agree.
Yeah.
Conan
So
2099 was the best.
this is my last Immortal Hulk.
I find that interesting you say that because after reading the book, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
I actually like this one.
I like it too.
I like this one a lot.
How far-fetched this Minotaur shit is, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I think that's just like a pawn because look who he went to at the end of the book.
What happened
You
then?
know?
Yeah.
Well, he went to he went to the original Hulk, which was the prototype. I can't think of his name right now, but his first appearance is Journey into Mystery 62.
Oh, okay.
Yeti Hulk.
Yeah, it's like the Yeti Hulk, but that was the prototype Hulk before they actually came out with the Hulk. So I like how Ewing brought that. Like I like how he's bringing in some of these older Hulk villains, so to speak, and we still have not seen, Red Hulk, and I think it's only a matter of time before he comes out, some time down the road in this run.
So that's my problem with Hulk books. Everybody hulks out. It's like, come on, man. Like I like the first arc, the whole Hulk can never die, Banner can never die, the Green Door. That arc was dope. But then when they had the Betsy Ross as the Red Hulk bird lady, then they had
Harpy?
him.
But that's Harpy, man.
I'm so terrible, man.
But I'm a Hulk fan. I
feel you. I like Hulk too.
So, but Harpy's one of those original.
That's old school Hulk.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
That's.
I just hate how everybody in his supporting cast turns into a Hulk. I just think that's so whack.
I agree with that. I think like when they like before Immortal Hulk, they were like everybody was a fucking Hulk, right? And I hated all that stuff.
Yeah.
I really feel like this one, I don't know, because everybody loves this book, Immortal Hulk, right?
Right.
Well,
and
no,
I'm like,
everyone's hopping off it now since it's gone this cosmic route because it was going more this horror theme, and everyone seemed to be on that. Now it kind of shifted a little cosmic, not necessarily this issue, but that one issue with the leader,
25, right?
Yeah, one of those cosmic, and I think that's setting something up down the line. Obviously,
it is.
And that's where people are starting to like hop off of it. Me personally, I'm still on it. I think it's still by far one of the best Hulk runs, of course.
Can you explain to me what happened in issue 25?
So what I think that is to me, I think that is the origin of the One Below All.
I don't know who that is.
Or it's the origin of the next version of that, right? Because it's set in the future. Like so, Jim, you know the idea.
Right, yeah.
You know the idea that like Galactus is the last survivor.
Yes, and that's what they were going to make Hulk, right? I caught that.
So, but he defeats the guy who's going to give him that power, right? And so he like kind of takes over the cosmos, and it could either be the origin of the one from below, or it's
I think that's what it is,
it's the ultimate triumph.
But I just felt like that was just out of nowhere, and then it just went back to normal. Like, was that just a foreshadowing kind of thing, or like, I don't know?
100%. That's a foreshadowing.
Okay.
Plus, Al Ewing is writing the next Marvel event, which is called Empire with a Y. I don't know if that's related to Hulk.
I was worried about that because it looked like the Contagion logo, and that was a terrible arc.
It actually looks to me like the Empire logo, the Mark Waid book that he did with Barry Kitson from Guerrilla Comics back in the early 2000s, late 90s. It kind of looked like that logo, but it had a Y, and like I don't know. Al Ewing is that they're setting this up in the incoming book or whatever, right? But anyway, Immortal Hulk was something that everybody jumped onto like really hardcore, and I was like into it, and then I kind of have fallen in and out of Immortal Hulk. I actually liked this issue because I liked how it focused on that one dude who was like the guard, the security guard or whatever, right? I liked that. I liked the artwork, but Immortal Hulk is one to me that is not, I don't think it's as strong as other people think it is, but I also think there's a lot of spec behind that book. And I think that now that everybody's jumped on it, like the order numbers are high. At one point, it outsold Batman. I think 1 month, right?
That was only 1 month, but I feel like it's starting to come down because the more and more I talk about it with people, they're like, "Oh, I'm not on it." Like I seem to be one of the only people. Like, well, I'm keeping it.
Everyone in the comments is saying stick with it.
I want to ask you guys. Robbie kind of touched on it. How do you guys think about the different artwork in this book? I mean, I don't like either one of them, to be honest with you.
Like, where's Joe Bennett?
Yeah.
Well, Joe Bennett needs a break, right, Dylan? He's also doing books at DC and shit like that. I don't know. I like both styles of the artwork, but I like a lot of different types of artwork. So
there's a panel in there where the Minotaur kills another one of his workers. That's kind of what it does.
Another one, right?
Yeah, it's literally side by side, and it's the same picture, but they're two different colors. It's like the color is saturated when it shows him actually kill the guy, but the regular cover, the picture before he does, is a nice bright color. I don't know why they did that. It just kind of looks kind of off. But there was a comment in here that a lot of people are buying this book because of Alex Ross covers.
Yeah.
And I think that was the Watcher collects comics, and people get it for the Alex Ross covers. I think there's some truth to that because Alex Ross just kills it on the covers. That's all. I mean, that's really the reason. I don't know if we're going to talk about this book, but Alex Ross does the Captain America covers as well. And that's the real reason why I'm buying that book is because he's doing those also. So I think there's a little bit of that to be said about the Immortal Hulk book right now. Also.
I'm not reading that Cap book.
But you don't like the Daughters of Liberty? Bueller, you're not about that?
What is that? I'm lost on that.
The Captain's put like his own like little team together.
The last couple issues have gotten better though. I wouldn't like about from Captain, but it's still, I just buy it for the covers, honestly.
I mean, it's not anything incredible. I mean, I guess it's no Ed Brubaker Captain America, right?
But what is, right? Rob Liefeld?
Sure.
Rob Liefeld Captain America's dope as hell, though.
Breasted Cap. I mean, but then again, there hasn't been that many amazing Captain America stories. That's something that a lot of people don't remember, I guess. I don't think this is like some amazing Cap run, but I definitely don't think it's bad. I think Ta-Nehisi Coates is actually killing it. I've been on it since the beginning. I like his the dialogue, and I also think the art for the most part throughout the entire book has been pretty complimentary to his writing, and it flows pretty well. It's it's very hoorah Captain America like, and then I like how he's brought in the Daughters of Liberty, so you get this.
Okay,
it almost feels like Ta-Nehisi's Coates Black Panther run when he had T'Challa with all the the
Dora Milaje and all
exactly.
that.
And that's what's cool about it. It's just with Cat.
I'm a big Coates fan. I'm like a super big fan of his work. I'm a big respecter of him as a thinker. And I think his comic book work works better for me when I read it all in one big chunk. Like his Black Panther run didn't work for me until I read all those first 12 issues together. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But Bueller, is this the panel you're talking about right there?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Dude,
hold on, let me see it. Hold on.
That's a great panel.
They do the color that way so that you feel the impact of that. That's Chris O'Halloran, one of the best colorists in the business. He colors Ice Cream Man. He's amazing. And he's also a super cool guy. But I love that stuff.
I didn't feel any impact.
Oh, man.
I was like, yo, HR is going to be...
Jim, I saw in your video, you said, how does anybody even work for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, just research about Scientology. Why are people into that? Why do people go into abusive relationships and abusive work relationships?
Like saying, why does anybody live in Gotham? I get
it.
Bro, when people ask me a question that I can't answer, I just refer to Chappelle. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it is.
All right, so guys, let's talk Dawn of X, right? So I think the reading order in this was like Fallen Angels issue 3 was first, right?
Yeah, but I guess it didn't really matter, did it?
I guess not. What happened in Fallen Angels? I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank here.
My retention on that book is losing me, man.
Yeah.
But this book is only going 5 or 6 issues, and then it's being replaced by Hellions. So it's it's about to wrap up pretty soon.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened in here.
God, it's something. Okay, I bet X-23 acted angry about something. Kid Cable acted flippant about something, and I bet Psylocke was confused about something.
That was probably the weakest issue from the Fallen Angels out of the 3.
I don't remember not liking it.
Yeah, it was just average.
Oh, was this the one where they're busting up some type of bunker, and then like Psylocke is kind of coaching X-23 through it? I thought that was dope.
Like
then we see not the APOF, but like something working for the APOF or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
It's the first appearance of APOF, I guess.
It's not. I don't think it is APOF though. It's this kind of weird creature. And then I guess Kid Cable gets captured and gets put on like an X instead of like a cross, something like that.
I don't really remember much of what happened in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't remember much either. All right, so what about X-Force 3?
I was just gonna say, let's talk about the one we all want to talk about. X-Force 3, right?
So X-Force 3.
I'm about it, man. I love the art in this book. I love this whole. I don't. It's got like this horror feel as well. I'm all in on this book.
Same.
What happened? I'm trying to think of what happened in X-Force 3.
So,
Well, first of all, they bring Xavier back.
Oh,
yeah.
they bring him back. So I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you guys. Does that
Yeah.
mean he doesn't have Phantom X's body now that he got resurrected?
Yeah, so where's Phantom X? Maybe he's just gone. I don't know.
And then wasn't it a whole thing on how Professor X was acting all like weird throughout the whole House of X, Powers of 10 stuff?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now that he's resurrected, is that he still seems pretty weird coming through,
Yeah.
walking all like flamboyantly with his big helmet on?
Yeah, his mind is all there. It makes you wonder, like, I don't even know if Hickman cares that Charles, what was it, Charles
Yeah.
Soule that did that the man called X or whatever, right? I don't even think Hickman cares so much about that. So I don't know if that's going to, but we know Hickman is a fan of the Morrison New X-Men run, which is where Phantom X first appeared. So maybe that will come into play. I love this issue. I think this book is great. The artwork is amazing. I think this is the most keyed in and important X book so far out of Dawn of X. Like if you want to keep up with the main gist of the story, this is where all the exciting shit happens to me.
So wasn't it at the end where Xavier's back and he's got X-Force there and he's like, to me, my X-Force, like he's basically going to be pointing them at what to attack now?
Yeah, they set up the idea of X-Force and what they're there for.
Because X-Force was always led by Cyclops without Professor X knowing, wasn't that the typical Black Ops team?
Logan, right? It was Logan.
Well, wasn't
right?
Cyclops at one point and Logan at another point, or
You're probably right about that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was Wolverine at first. That was the Yost run, and then in the Remender run, it was Cyclops letting Wolverine. I don't remember, but yeah, it's a wet
either that or the other way around.
Yeah, but it does either way. But like, that's they need this kind of a team, right? Because there's all these threats coming out, and that's what they've been building up with all these Dawn of X books. They're building up the idea of the threat coming in from humanity. Right. And
well, it's basically like the consequences for what you guys did in Hoxpox.
Yeah.
And that's what Dawn of X is. Matt Dotzko's asking how they bring him back. Well, we learned in House of X, Powers of 10 that Gold Balls, his balls are really mutant incubators that they can use to resurrect mutants. And they have Cerebro has all their data like the Cloud, and they can basically resurrect anyone. So death doesn't really fucking matter.
It's the resurrection protocols, right?
Those are great balls.
But we're yet to see, because it always took Professor X to do it. Now they had to do it without him, and
Jean
I guess
did it, right? Just like we said.
Yeah.
And I doubt that they would make Jean not as capable as him. If anything, I think they would make her become stronger. So
Jean
I
is more powerful than him. That's already been stated. That's the whole point of Phoenix, right? That's why Phoenix chooses her.
Well, with Phoenix, she is, but I mean, on her own with her telepathy and everything.
The whole domino thing I thought was cool though in the issue.
They're like picking pieces out of her.
Yeah, man. And then Kid Omega finally getting his powers back, and
that's what happened when Wolverine and Kid Omega rescued Domino. She got fucked up too,
yeah,
man.
bro. That whole scene was I was all about it. And then,
I'm a Kid Omega fan.
Hell yeah,
hell yeah, man.
All day.
Is everybody here a Kid Omega fan then? That's badass. Kid Omega is my favorite.
Bueller's looking like he's not feeling him.
No, he is. No. He said, "Yeah, I saw him."
Thank you.
Yeah, Kid Omega is great.
Okay, we're just
making
sure.
Funny? When you said Hickman's a fan of Morrison's new X-Men, this New Mutants book felt like a new X-Men book.
It did, didn't it?
All right, it didn't really have anything to do with the first two issues.
No, it was a completely different story. There was no Hickman on this one. It was just Ed Brisson. Ed Brisson is a big fan of Glob. I know Dylan knows that because I watched his video about that, right?
Yep. Hell yeah, bro.
Glob. And then so what else happened here? I forget what I'm trying to piece all this Dawn of X shit together.
It's Glob and Armor, and they're trying to go check in on Beak and Angel, who
they run up on Beak, yes.
Yeah, from the new X-Men run.
Beak is like Matt over there, the boy who had 7.
Yeah, he is right now, kid.
He had mad kids. Yeah,
Jim,
so the whole thing is that they're trying to find mutants who did not come to Krakoa to like figure out what up, and
maybe they didn't hear about it, right?
He doesn't come because I guess his father-in-law is really sick or whatever, and he's got a whole family. He's got real world problems. Y'all out here trying to go to this fire party rave type thing.
Yeah, y'all trying to go to Fantasy Island and Coachella, and we're trying to like raise kids with a sick, grandparent.
He's like, look, I got bills and shit. Like y'all out here.
I know Dylan read this book. What'd you think about it, man?
Oh man, after issue like the first issue, I wasn't so crazy about it, but
Same.
after issue 2, man, it jumped up to one of my favorites. And issue 3, it didn't even have that same team, but I was so glad they put Glob. I mean, fingers crossed, him and Pixie get together.
Yeah, he tried to holler at her a little bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that this book is going to be, because it's called New Mutants, and it starts with the classic New Mutants team, right? From the Claremont Sienkiewicz days. And then you introduce, because we know Brisson loves Glob because he used him in Old Man Logan, and he used him in Extermination a little bit, I think. And so it seems like this is the youth movement of the X-Men, right? So all the young people on Krakoa, this is their book. Whether they're New Mutants, whether they're New X-Men, and they even show that whole thing, how they all have their own place on the island, each little team. I thought that was super cool. So I think this is going to be a really fun book. And
so on Undead's comment, I felt like, damn, they came through to check on Beak, and then his whole family and kids get guns to their head and everything. Like, would that have not happened if they didn't come there to try to recruit him or whatever?
Isn't that kind of like X-Men 2 when they go like stay at Bobby's house, and then like the people show up? That's just what it's like being an X-Men. And Beak and Angel, they can try to ignore this. And first of all, I just like that we went back to them and saw them, because we haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
And being a huge fan of that Morrison run, I like to see what's up with these kids and what's up with Beak and Angel, and that's really super fun. But yeah, you can't be a mutant in this world now, because I mean, think about people like Beak and Angel. They just want to live their life, raise their kids, right? And now because of what the mutants have done, what Xavier and Magneto and others have done with Krakoa, they don't have a choice now. People are going to be showing up at their doorstep with guns. People are going to be like denying them things. Like there's a whole bunch of ramifications that are going to come out of this, man.
Yeah, but even going to Krakoa is not safe. Even Professor X got murked on Krakoa.
Yeah.
That's why we need X-Force, right?
David Hatch, OMG, is that the famous Rockin' Robbie in the conference?
Oh, it's David Hatch, man. David Hatch. What's up, David?
The one and only.
The one and only. Yeah, you're right about that.
All right, who's reading Punisher Soviet?
Yo, I am.
What do y'all think, man?
Bro, money. I feel like he should be the only one writing Punisher.
Garth Ennis was made to write Punisher.
Even his previous Punisher runs.
This is his third run on it, I think, right? He did 2 Max titles, or no, Marvel Knights and a Max title.
So I'm all about it.
So I really like the first issue, but the second one I wasn't digging as much. I guess we're getting backstory on the old guy. I guess he was a war guy. I don't know if it's Afghanistan, maybe he said, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know that this issue really moved the story along at all, though.
No, but I think it's just set up.
Yeah.
What I like what Garth Ennis does, though, is just gives that grittiness to Frank, so to speak, and that, that no bullshit attitude. I just love, I don't know, just like that dark grittiness that he has.
I got you.
I love the shootout scene inside the, I guess, whatever club or bar.
So what was dope about that is like Frank's like, I really haven't trusted anybody in battle in a long ass time, but with the old guy, he's jumping out first. Yeah. He's not hiding behind me, and he was comfortable fighting with dudes. So it makes you feel like they're gonna definitely team up and take down that Russian mob, who's like the worst mob that ever was in existence, or some shit like that.
So where do you think that's going? Because I noticed that, these guys really bonded right away. They're trusting each other like within a few minutes with each other's lives.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Punisher is like, okay, is he playing this guy? Because, that's kind of what happens. He gets stabbed in the back type thing.
Right. I guess that could be. But, it felt to me like, damn, there's going to be 2 Punishers on the streets.
Yeah. The way I thought, too.
I think this guy represents to Frank a friend, right? This is somebody that's going through something that I have gone through, because, the dude has this whole history, this whole reason for doing this stuff. And I think Frank relates to that.
And they have the whole military connection as well.
Right? And I think what's going to happen is this dude's going to go beyond Frank's line.
Right? And he's going to evolve. You're absolutely right. I was going to say, eventually their paths are going to separate, and they're going to meet again, just not as friends.
This book ends with Frank killing the fuck out of this guy. And we know that, right?
Or the other way around.
Or no, it's Frank killing this guy. It's totally. Because the book's called Punisher Soviet, not Soviet Punisher.
Or how do we know this guy isn't a Soviet implanted to come at the Punisher? I don't know.
Yeah.
His name is kind of like, he's got a Russian name. I forget his name off the top.
Why does he have a beef with the Russian mobs?
Well, didn't they kill
general or something? The guy when he was in the war, his general was the guy that was hunting, and I forget.
And he saw him do all this heinous ass shit, right?
And stuff like that.
Yeah. And did they allude to the Russian in that book because he was talking about that one dude that was there that was like super big? Did anybody else pick up on that? You remember the Russian from like Garth Ennis's initial Punisher run?
Oh yeah, like the big super soldier kind of guy.
Yeah,
right?
they used him in that movie. That it was the Thomas Jane movie or whatever, but it was kind of dumb. But like,
all I can think about was Manucci in that first run.
yeah, right. Well, but yeah, okay, I got you. The Punisher was that big dumb Russian guy with the blonde hair that came right and like was like fighting him. And there was a moment where like, wasn't it like him and Spider-Man, and Frank just kept putting Spider-Man in the way and using him as a shield or something since he had superpowers or something like that. Anyway,
he hates superpowered people.
Yeah. Anyway, like you guys said, Garth Ennis should write the Punisher, and that's the best writer for it.
They should just leave him on there. I don't know why they take him off.
The new guy, or whatever you want to call him, the Russian guy, his backstory is similar to the backstory that they used for the Punisher in the TV show for Netflix, the military background type thing.
Yeah. Aside from being a cop, he was military.
Exactly. So they use a lot from there. I like that they really went deep into that guy's backstory because I want to care about that guy a little bit. You know, when there is a confrontation that comes up, probably issues down the line, I want this guy to mean a little bit more than just another body count for the Punisher, and that's what they did in this issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. Anyone reading this Ghost Rider?
Oh yeah, it was fire.
Just Dylan?
I'm reading it.
Ivan Drago.
Sorry. So issue 3. So I don't want to get confused with issue 2. So this is the one where Danny Ketch, he doesn't have the spirit of vengeance anymore. He's working like cleaning up the kitchen or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And who's the girl that comes to him to try to tell her like, yo, Johnny's wilding out. He's possessed by hell. He's not himself or whatever.
Isn't it his ex or whatever from the original issue, the original run by Howard Mackie? Yeah.
I love how they're doing Johnny Blaze, man. He's like got the skull with the horns in it. He's the ruler of hell. He's trying to reel back in these demons that broke out and are running amok, and he catches them joyriding and like not keeping a low profile.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It kind of lost. I don't know. I don't think it's keeping my interest enough to continue reading it issue to issue. I might trade weight it, but I think Brisson's doing a decent job with it. But like, I don't know. Nothing about it is super engaging me right now.
What about you, Dylan? Were you digging it or?
Yeah, I liked it. I think the artwork was actually better in issue 3 than the last two because it was like Juan Ferrero on issue 3. And I think Aaron Cooter did the first 2. I enjoyed the artwork a lot better than the first 2. I mean, they were both good, but something about this new guy, Juan Ferrero, was really good. Like you said, you know, Johnny Blaze with the horns and shit. That was really cool.
All right, so I think Robbie liked this book, man. This Morbius issue 2.
Yeah, I did, man.
It was all right.
It was bloody. It was gory. It was 70s horror Marvel to the extreme. This book has been way more just visceral than I thought it was going to be. And I really like it because of that. And every Morbius story we get is the exact same story. Oh, I'm a vampire. I'm sad. I want to cure myself. And he makes a cure and it makes him even worse. Right?
That's what this is, right? It's like.
Yeah, but this one to me was the most like just visceral horror, just ripped people apart. I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm still really liking it.
So at the end of the first issue, they have that female character show up at the end. Do you find out who she is in issue 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Is she like a Blade clone, or I don't know?
She's related to Morbius's past.
Okay.
And it actually comes from the issues way back in the day.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna drop it. What about this Yondu? I think I'm gonna drop it too. I don't think it's much to even talk about.
I think
not reading.
It's over.
I think maybe one more.
It's 5 issues, right?
So I might as well
not reading it.
You know, Jim, you had me convinced your review of issue number 2 on your channel. And so I grabbed it and I put it in my stack. And then I watched your review of issue 3 and I took it back to the shop and put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, you know what? I just like, I wanted to like it and it wasn't bad, but it's like, why am I even reading this? I don't know. It just didn't seem worth it. I got that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 14, but I have the whole stack of issues 1 through 13. I just started reading them today to try to catch up so I can follow it. I think I read the first 3 issues. Way better than the Nick Spencer Amazing Spider-Man run so far.
It's so good. It ended on 14. That's the last one.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even know till I saw it on Twitter. Tom Taylor tweeted like, so sad to say goodbye. And then I read the back. I was like, oh shit, he is done with it.
It's in the same universe where Boomerang is his roommate and all this stuff, but there was this under York thing happening. I mean, I'm not caught up, so I guess we don't. Unless you guys want to talk about it, I don't really care. But
no, that's fine.
I read the first like 6 or 7 issues of it, and I really liked it. And I know that it was initially only supposed to be like 10 issues or something, and then they extended it out to 14 or whatever. But it's been a fun book. I do think it's been better than the Spencer book, but it hasn't obviously been the flagship book, so it's not able to really, but it's the first issue. It's the first book that, announced the idea that Aunt May has cancer.
I saw that. Yeah,
it's got that. You said you read the first 6?
No, first 3.
Okay, there's an issue with Spider Bite. I think it's issue 6 or something. That's probably one of the best Marvel comics of the entire year.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's everything that I had. Is there any other Marvel titles that you guys read?
Captain Marvel, number 13.
I didn't like that near as much as 12. What about you, Bueller?
Well, you got to find out what's going on. Obviously, number 12, she kills Thor, apparently. Number 13, she's going after Iron Man. I did like the simple fact of how easy she took apart Iron Man. I thought that was, he's like, don't make me do this. And she's like, shut up. I'm just going to take you out right here and there. And she pretty much kills Iron Man, or supposedly kills Iron Man.
Yeah.
So apparently she's sending them to some other zone. What's it called? I can't remember what the name of it.
I don't remember. She's like killing clones, right?
Yeah. Oh no, she's not killing clones. She's like she goes back and she goes to the place where they are all cloned at the very end of the book.
Oh, she's like killing them and she's making clones or something.
And then she's bringing the remains to Vox Supreme.
Yeah.
Vox is pretty much blackmailing her. He's said that he will destroy all these refuge camps for aliens and stuff like that. He destroys one. There's like 9 more to go. So she has to kill all the Avengers. And in this one, she goes after Iron Man, quote, kills the clone or whatnot, but she's trying to pull a fast one on Vox Supreme. So we'll see where that goes from here. But every issue is this series. It's called The Last Avenger storyline. This is part 2. They're easy reads, man. I mean, you blow right through these, no problem. They're mainly action books. And it looks like next issue she goes up against She-Hulk, which I think that would be kind of a cool fight. That's one of my favorite characters, so I'll be interesting to see that one. What do you think, Robbie?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. The explanation of what's going on kind of was like, oh, I thought that could have been way more interesting, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, guys, before we get up out of here, I'm going to plug my Spider-Man booth thing one more time. So, guys, real quick, I partnered up with that Spider-Man booth on their mystery boxes. They do $30 mystery boxes twice a week. Right now, they are doing a mystery box that has a grand prize where you could win an Amazing Spider-Man 301, CGC 9.8, Spider-Man logo, and either way, you get 5 comics that are valued $30. If you use the code GemMint, you'll get $10 off as a one-time use. So you can get a $30 mystery box for $20. You'll get your more than your value, or you could potentially win this Amazing Spider-Man 301. So that's SpiderManBooth.com. And man, we've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes. It was a huge week. Next week is going to be an even bigger week. Are y'all ready?
Oh, yeah. Hell no.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to drop my review on Wednesday, man. It might be a Thursday video.
Dude, me either, man. There's like way too many books, and they're all big ass books too. Some of them.
Yeah.
My wallet ain't ready for that.
Well, here's the thing: the week of Christmas, there's only like 6 books that come out. So
that's true.
Yeah.
We gotta make up for it next week.
So I mean, hopefully, if anyone's available, we'll do this spoiler show next week, maybe on the weekend as well. I think Saturdays worked out better than Fridays. We got like 127 watching now. I think we had up to like 130 or 40.
Nice.
So definitely appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so that you can catch us live. Hit the bell because we don't really promote it. We just kind of, I set it up on StreamYard maybe the day of, and you kind of can see when it's about to come on. We got Chad. YouTube is 90. You want to let them know where they can find you, bro?
Yeah, man. You can find me at 90MF Comics, and you can also find me this Monday on the final Geek Show on MCE. If you guys haven't checked out the MCE channel, make sure you go check them out for everything marvelous in collectibles. And yeah, 90MF Comics. Check me out there. Thank you, Jem, for having me. It was cool meeting you, Dylan. Bueller, as always, fun hanging out with you. And Robbie, we got to do it again.
Yeah, man. Chad, he kind of crosses the same circles I do with the statue community, with the comic book community. So that's because MCE is a well-rounded show as well. So check them out. Dylan, what's up, brother? Let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Dylan's Comic Book Rant. Probably find me lurking in, any one of these guys' streams, Gem. I watch literally all of you guys. I think 90MF, the only one I probably got a sub to, but I know I added you on Instagram.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'm new to the streaming stuff, so I got a lot of stuff usually dropping every day. So
man, I noticed Dylan always in the comments, always showing mad love. He wanted to come on. I said, hey, that's what we do, man. And if any one of you guys has channels or whatever wants to come on here, let me know, man. We could try to get different people on, and not to kick these guys off, but I think we could add 6 people or maybe even 7 if I fall back, and we could keep this going. Bueller just hit 8 stacks on YouTube. Congrats,
Bueller.
Congrats, bro.
So much just happened today, and I just double checked. I didn't lose any subscribers during this live stream, so we're above 8,005. But yeah, hey Dylan, awesome being on here with you. I've been on with these guys before. Nice to have you on here. But Comics with Bueller is a channel. We do a lot of comic book content. I have the #1 most watched previews video on YouTube every week, every Wednesday for all your new comics. Go check it out. And we make a lot of comic book content along with these guys. So thanks for having me on, Jim. Everybody here had a great time tonight.
For sure. And we didn't hit the 41K, man. We're at 40,998. So we need 2 more subs.
2 more.
And speaking on that, tomorrow morning, I plan to do the 40K subscriber giveaway. Subscriber giveaway. So hopefully feed gets up. We'll get some coffee going. We'll do a live stream where we just talk about bullshit, which is like the favorite thing on the channel. And we'll do the 40K subscriber giveaway, 3 gem crates. We're going to give away the last 3 first appearance of the Gempire and Marvel Comics and all that good stuff.
I'm going to call my mom right now and have her subscribe here too.
get everyone, get grandmas subscribing, aunts, sisters. Rock and Robbie, let them know where they can find you, man.
You can find me here on YouTube at Pop Culture Philosophers. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRockandRobbie. You can find us on Instagram. We're all over the place. Facebook, the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. I'll be releasing my top 10 comic books of 2019 video on the YouTube channel for Pop Culture Philosophers next week. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys for all showing up. I had a good time. It kind of flew by. I didn't really feel like we were on like an hour and a half.
No kidding.
Not feel that at all.
All right, man. Yeah, so guys, check us out. Make sure to sub everybody up to see what they're about. Thanks for watching. Stay minty fresh. Peace.
Peace.